Print culture and the modern world.
Good morning, students. Today we'll start sixth part of print culture and the modern world. In this part, we'll study about India and the world of print. In the previous videos, we discussed about the print culture and the development in China, Japan, and rest of the countries of Asia, and then in Europe, and after that, the effects in Europe of print culture in various kinds of aspects. And now we'll start India and the world of print. Before the spreading print culture in India, there were manuscripts like other countries in India. Manuscripts, as we have discussed earlier, manuscripts are handwritten books. Manuscripts are handwritten books. So 6.1, this is the topic, manuscripts before the age of print in India. It means before the print culture, the material was available in written form as manuscripts or handwritten books. So the features of these manuscripts, as we have discussed, that there were so many drawbacks and deficiencies in handwritten books or manuscripts. These were very heavy, very fragile, and could not be carried from one place to another place easily, and not easy to understand because these were written in various kinds of style, writing style. As we discussed about calligraphy, beautiful writing style. So these were available in various languages like Sanskrit, Arabic, Persian, and vernacular. What do we mean by vernacular? Vernacular means local languages. For example, in India, Hindi and English are spoken on a large scale. Vernacular means the particular language that is spoken in a particular area, right, by a particular kinds of people. For example, Punjabi for Punjab, Malayalam for Kerala, Tamil for Tamil Nadu, Kannada for Karnataka, Odia for Odisha, right, Assamese for Assam, like this. These are the vernacular languages or the dialects. So these were available in various kinds of language. Next one is manuscripts were copied on palm leaves or handmade paper. The paper particularly was made by hand. It was prepared, it was big in size and not of good quality, but manuscripts were written and the material was written on this kind of paper. So manuscripts were written and copied on palm leaves and handmade paper. After that, manuscripts were continued after print also till the late 19th century. Late 19th century. In India, means manuscripts were continuously used by the people. Next one is particular about in Bengal. We'll talk that in Bengal, many people became literate without reading text. How it could be possible? In Bengal, the primary education system was on extensive stage, right? But in the schools, the manuscripts were not used as textbooks. Manuscripts, the particular written part was dictated by the teachers and the students used to write them after listening. So in this way, so many people became literate without reading any kind of text from the manuscripts. I hope that you understood this topic about manuscripts before the age of print in India. So let's start next topic. Next topic is 6.2, print comes to India. Now after the manuscripts, use of manuscripts, the print came to exist in India, and how does it come in India, we'll discuss. First is, in India, first printing press was established in Goa in 1550 by Portuguese missionaries. So first printing press in India was established in Goa by Portuguese missionaries in 1550 AD. After that, by 1674, Jesus priest published 50 books in Konkani and Kannada language. Konkani, especially the language spoken in area of Goa, and Kannada now it is spoken in Karnataka. So 50 books were published by 1674, within means more than 100 years, by Jesus Priest. After that, by in 1579, first Tamil book was published by Catholic priest at Cochin in 1579. So you have to remember that by 1674, the first printing press in India, 1550 by Portuguese missionaries. Second one, 1674, 50 books in Konkani and Kannada language by Jesus Priest, and 1579, first Tamil book was published by Catholic priest at Cochin. In 1713, first Malayalam book was published by them, and after that by 1710, 32 Tamil texts were published by Dutch Protestants. Dutch Protestants came from Holland, Netherlands. It is now known as Netherlands. Earlier it was known as Holland. And after that, the first English press, or we can say British press, was established in 1684, means much later after the development of print culture in India by Portuguese missionaries. And then in late 17th century, the first British press came into existence in India. So let's discuss next topic. From 1780, James Augustus Hickey from Britain, he started publication on 29 January 1780. The weekly magazine or paper Bengal Gazette. It was published in English language. So it was the first weekly magazine or weekly paper in India, started by British James Augustus Hickey. It was independent paper, right? Weekly magazine, or we can say weekly paper. It was independent and published different kinds of advertisements, different kinds of news, and the gossips of the British officials, right? Which enraged the different kinds of officials from Britain, including Governor General Warren Hastings. And later Governor General Warren Hastings confiscated and executed James Augustus Hickey, and the paper was closed on 30 March 1782. Means this paper was started on 29 January 1780, and after that 30 March 1782, this paper was closed by British company. And after that, this paper was the first paper in India, but the first Indian newspaper was Bengal Gazette. On this name, again this name, it was started by Gangadhar Bhattacharya. Gangadhar Bhattacharya started Bengal Gazette. It was the first Indian newspaper. It was also a weekly newspaper, right? And Gangadhar Bhattacharya was close friend of Rajaram Mohan Roy. So this was the development of print culture in India, right? How does print come to India? How did print develop in India? This was the explanation of the following topic. So let's start further. So next topic is religious reform and public debates. This is about India. We are studying about India. We studied about religious debates and print and dissent in Europe. We have taken the example of Martin Luther was in favor of print, Erasmus was against print. In the same way, the clashes between the ideas, Martin Luther was against the Catholicism or the Roman Catholic Church. He wanted some reforms, and Roman Catholic Church was against Protestants. So this was the religious debates. In the same way, in India, we have observed the religious reform and public debates. So the first is new ideas emerge through debates, right? Because the people started to read the books, they became the informatives, and they spread the knowledge with their ideas by printed and published by books. And after that, the opponent ideas also printed the books. So in this way, this was the intellectual debate. And with these kinds of intellectual debates, the society was divided into two main parts regarding religious debates. So clash between reformers and Hindu orthodoxy, right, resulted a big debate among the people. For example, social reformers or religious reformers were against widow immolation. Widow immolation means the woman was burnt alive with the dead body of her husband after the death of her husband. Widow immolation, monotheism, idolatry, Brahminical priesthood, these kinds of matters and the issues on which religious reformers and Hindu orthodoxy were against each other. Getting my point? And they were printed the ideas to criticize each other. Clear? For example, in 1821, Rajaram Mohan Roy published Samvad Kaumudi by criticizing Hindu orthodoxy. Clear? To criticize Hindu orthodoxy, Rajaram Mohan Roy published Samvad Kaumudi in 1821. To oppose the ideas of Rajaram Mohan Roy, Hindu orthodoxy published Samachar Chandrika. You are getting my point? Means Rajaram Mohan Roy is known as the father of modern India. He is known as the father of modern India because he opposed the orthodoxy and conservative ideas of Hindus and Hindu religions. He wanted so many reforms in Hindu religion. So in this way he is known as the father of modern India, right, and the father of Indian Renaissance. Clear? And so he wrote Samvad Kaumudi criticizing Hindu orthodoxy. Hindu orthodoxy published Samachar Chandrika to criticize these kinds of reformers like Rajaram Mohan Roy. After that, in 1822, two Persian newspapers were published. These were the Persian papers, Jam-e-Jahanama and Shamsul Akhbar. Right? So in this way we can observe that different kinds of ideas were published with the help of print culture, and this was the emergence of clashes between the ideas. Right? So let's discuss further this topic. Next is, in northern India, ulemas, these were the scholars of Muslim laws and Sharia. Ulemas are the scholars of Muslim laws and Sharias. They were very worried after the destruction and collapse of Muslim dynasties in India. They also worried about the destruction of Muslim laws and Muslim beliefs. So they wanted to make Muslim beliefs stronger among all kinds of Islamic people. So what they did, they started to publish Persian and Urdu translations of religious scriptures. Clear? To make them aware all the Muslims in the country, particular in North India. I hope you are getting my point. This is very simple, that after the destruction of Mughal dynasties and after that Muslim dynasties in India, ulemas were worried about Muslim culture and Muslim religious destruction. So to make it stronger, they started to publish Persian and Urdu translations of religious scriptures and the text to make all the people aware. After that, the Deoband Seminary, it was established in 1867. You have to note down and you have to remember. Deoband Seminary in UP, Uttar Pradesh. It was established in 1867. It is started to publish so many fatwas. Approximately thousands of fatwas were published for Muslim people to regulate them and to tell them how to live their lives, how to conduct themselves, their behavior like this, right? So fatwas, what are the fatwas? Fatwas are the official pronouncement of Muslim laws, right? Particularly by Mufti. Understand? After that, this was about Muslim religion. Clear? Now we'll talk about Hindus. Among Hindus also, print encouraged the reading of religious texts among the people. And for Hindu text, also so many books were published to encourage all the Hindus to read the religious books like Ramcharitmanas. It was written by Tulsidas. Written by Tulsidas. It was a text of 16th century. 16th century. But it was published in 1810 from Calcutta. So it was also a big breakthrough among Hindus for spreading the religious text in the country. And in the same way, so many presses were established means throughout the country which only used to publish the religious text. For example, from 1880s, Naval Kishore Press, it was established at Lucknow, right? It could only print the religious text, used to print only religious text, religious books. Shri Venkateshwar Press in Bombay, it was established in Bombay. This press and Naval Kishore Press, both the presses were very famous for publication of the religious books and religious text. So in this way we have completed this topic. Finally, I would like to say on this topic that religious reform and public debates, due to print culture, different kinds of clashes observed among the different ideas and the thinkings. Getting my point? And after that, to protect their religion, different religious groups or religious sections in the society, they used print culture to protect their own religion. For example, Hindus, maybe Muslims, understand? So in this way, print became very important in India also for all the societies. So you have to revise this topic, watch this video again, and if you have any doubt, you can ask me by writing in the comment box. Thank you. Have a nice day.